What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I'm recording my second video of the day back-to-back. I just recorded a movie review for I Saw the TV Glow, so if you like my film reviews, check that one out. That is my last video on this channel. But I've been covering a bunch of Steelers stuff, covered our draft, covered our free agency, who we lost, who we gained, who we should still go after, all those things. So check those out in the Steelers section on my channel. But I want to start bringing you guys, now that the draft is over, we've signed our draft picks, we've signed some undrafted free agents, we brought some guys to camp. Hopefully we're not done with free agency, but we have signed the bulk of our free agents. So most of our roster coming into camp is probably 90%, if not more, set. So with our roster being set, I want to start doing positional breakdowns and go position by position to some of the biggest things we needed from last year. Look at last year's roster and this year's roster at those positions and tell you guys whether they've really improved themselves, what they still might need to add to those positional rooms, and kind of see where we are roster-wise this year compared to where we were last year. We finished 10-7 last year and brought a lot of guys in, but a lot of those guys didn't work for us. So we let go of some guys, we signed some new guys. Let's look at these positions and tell you guys whether they're better off, worse off, or about the same. And today, I want to talk about a deep position last year that we signed a lot of guys to, that some worked out and some didn't. Inside linebacker. Inside linebacker was probably our single biggest turnover from last year to this year. We dropped 4 different inside linebackers at the end of last season and brought in 4 different guys. We had let like Miles Jack and a bunch of those guys go. We had dropped 4 different inside linebackers. The only guy we had retained from 2 years ago going into last year was Mark Robinson on his rookie contract. He was the only guy we had retained. We had signed Cole Holcomb. We had signed Landon Roberts. We had signed Quan Alexander. And we had brought in Mark Robinson, or kept Mark Robinson. So we had brought in 3 new guys and dropped 4. That is the biggest turnover of any position group of anything we did from last year. And how that worked out? Well, Cole Holcomb played very, very well in the first 7 or 8 games. Kind of started a little slow. First 2 or 3 games were a little slow. Really picked up and started getting onto his pace. Wound up with like 70 tackles in 7 games, but then got hurt for the rest of the season. Landon Roberts also started slow. The room was not starting off very well last season. But Landon Roberts started picking up, and then he got hurt. And then he came back and started playing really well. And then he got hurt again. And then he came back and played banged up for the last couple games of the season, but played very well. He was our most consistent linebacker last year. After his first couple games, really found himself as the run stuffer, downhill thumper, getting to the quarterback, making plays all over the field when he was healthy, but he was either injured for packs of games at a time and then came back injured and still played through the pain pretty well. Quan Alexander was the most promising of the guys because he has the most total game as far as speed, pass coverage, and tackling. Had a great preseason, looked like he was going to be a potential all-pro guy last year. Was another guy coming in just like Cole Holcomb, coming in off injuries and got hurt. Played very well for a very short time that he was out there, but got injured. So all 3 of our big signings from last year were hurt. Both Quan and Cole for most of the season. Landon was in and out. Played 2 games, hurt 2 games, played 2 games, hurt 2 games. So the big 3 signings we brought in last year all were injured for substantial amounts of time. That left us to having guys like Trenton Thompson float between safety and linebacker. Having, who else? I mean, Devontae Casey was in and out of there, mostly at corner. But then we had guys like Miles Jack coming off the street who we had cut the year prior. In the previous offseason, Miles Jack was playing a bit for us. We had 3 or 4 other guys. The guy from Atlanta that came in, Michael Walker, he came in and played pretty solidly at tackling guys for a while in the run game. Wasn't very good in the pass game. Mark Robinson proved that he cannot really play consistently in the NFL. Sadly as it is, he showed us at times he can be a tackler. That game that he started 2 years ago, the first one, pretty good tackler. But the guy's got, some speed, and he's a decent power guy for a guy his size, but he's just not consistent. He doesn't choose the right gaps. He's not always a consistent tackler. He's out of position when he's trying to get angles on guys, and he's a very bad coverage linebacker. So Mark Robinson just was a failed experiment, proven by the fact that all 3 guys ahead of him on the depth chart that were brought in to be players over him to begin with got hurt, and he still couldn't get consistent playing time. They were signing guys off the street like Miles Jack and Michael Walker because they couldn't even trust him to come in and play as the 4th, 5th, or 6th inside linebacker. And when he did, he didn't play that well. Guys like Michael Walker and Miles Jack actually outplayed him off the street. So proved that he was not the guy for us. So nobody consistently on the field until we eventually got Landon Roberts back, and he played very well. But we obviously need another guy to be healthy, if not a few more, to come in at inside linebacker. So that being said, we let Quan Alexander's contract go. We had signed him to a 1-year deal. He was really good when he was healthy, but he wasn't out there very long. So we let his contract go. He is currently out there. I think he tore maybe an ACL or something like that. So he wouldn't even be healthy to come back until like December. He's going to miss most of this season, probably more than half of this season. So he's not worth re-signing. So that's a guy that was good to let go in spite of all of his talents. And then the other guy, obviously, besides Landon Roberts, who is your very solid tackling thumper inside linebacker who's back this year. We also have one more year on the contract of Cole Holcomb, but Holcomb is still not solid enough to go right away this year. There's been a lot of talk that he can miss substantial time coming into the season. Again, he played those 7 games for us. He was on a roll with 10 tackles a game, started to really come along, and he's got a high potential because when he's played healthy in the NFL, he's played very solid. He's a fast guy. He's a strong guy. He's good in the run game and the pass coverage game. Can be a very versatile linebacker, but he was hurt for a lot of last year, and it's looking like he could miss another half a season for us. So obviously, with Cole being down for half the season, with Quan being gone and being hurt, with Landon being back but being often hurt, you need more, and Mark Robinson being there and not being the guy, you need more guys to come in, right? So Pittsburgh went ahead and made 2 major additions to this room to make up for Robinson not being great and Quan being gone and Cole being hurt. Pittsburgh goes and signs 2 absolute beasts. One of the best inside linebackers in the entire league from our division rival, the Ravens, Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen is a monster. Big-time tackler, high-energy guy, fast, can cover, can sack the quarterback, can do everything. The only reason he was out there in free agency was because they also have Roquan Smith, who's also one of the other best inside linebackers in the league, and they couldn't pay both. So Pittsburgh gets lucky on Baltimore's embarrassment of riches that they can't afford this guy. We sign our division rival, Patrick Queen, the best inside linebacker that was on the market this offseason, for like $13.5 million a year, which was less than I expected. We got a division rival that is a monster for a bargain of a price. Good deal for us to get him there. Patrick Queen is a beast. Couldn't get a better starting guy. Instant number 1 at your inside linebacker room. That takes pressure off Cole Holcomb coming back from injury and takes pressure off of Landon Roberts because Queen can do a lot of the things that both of those guys can do. He's a hybrid guy. So you've now got a clear number 1 in Patrick Queen, making Landon Roberts your clear number 2, who's great when he's healthy. But you've got a superstar now in Patrick Queen as your number 1 with Roberts, who's a very solid number 2. And then you go and draft Peyton Wilson, who most people had as the best inside linebacker in this draft. I had him as like a 1A, 1B, kind of your number 2 behind the Texas A&M inside linebacker, forgetting his name right now off the top of my head. But even me being a little bit tougher on Peyton Wilson, that's not saying much because I love this guy. I had a first-round grade on him. He easily could have been a first-round draft pick. The only reason why he slid to us at the end of the 3rd round at pick 98 was because he has had a bunch of injuries. He's had 12 overall surgeries, a bunch of things on his shoulder, and I think 2 or 3 different surgeries on his legs. He has no ACL in his one leg, and so those are very troubling injuries, especially for a young guy to have so many surgeries. He's got a bit of an injury-prone body, but guess what? The last 2 seasons, he's been entirely healthy. He has played, at least definitely last year, he played the entire season. I think both of the last 2. But at least last year, no injuries to speak of at all. Whereas he's been an absolute monster for NC State. The dude is a tackling machine, over, like 100 to 130 tackles per season. The dude gets interceptions. He gets pick sixes. He's around the ball forcing fumbles. He's diving on fumble recoveries. He can bat balls. He can sack the quarterback and blitz off the edge as an outside linebacker so you can move the guy around. He can play on special teams when he's not starting. This dude is Probably, in my opinion, the single biggest steal of the entire NFL draft. Again, he is a first-round talent. Top 25 to top 30 talent overall for sure, and Pittsburgh steals him with our second to third round pick at number 98. And again, we did the same thing last year with one of the best value picks in Darnell Washington. And while we have not seen his full value yet, we have seen that he is worth that pick. And I think it's the same with Peyton Wilson. This dude could be a year one starter. He is a first round talent that could go out there this year, and imagine a healthy Peyton Wilson doing what he does with the speed, with the sideline to sideline ability, with the cover ability, with the tackling ability, with the sack ability, with the create turnover ability. If you put Patrick Queen out there with Peyton Wilson as two of your fastest hybrids, your do-all everything, improving the run game, improving the pass game, two absolute monsters like that out there together. Queen in his prime, Wilson as a rookie, to be NFL talents, with now a Landon Roberts being your third guy who has to play less and can play on run obvious downs. You are looking at an embarrassment of riches. You're telling me now that you've got an all-pro Patrick Queen at a good price, at $13.5 million a year, getting him at an undervalued price, with Peyton Wilson, who can be a first-round talent who's on a rookie deal, who, when he's healthy, can potentially play up to all-pro level, in my opinion, based on the tape that I saw and the projections that I saw for myself and my contemporaries doing all the draft grades. Then you put a Landon Roberts, who was your best linebacker last year, as your number 3, who can come in on the running and blitzing downs where he shined last year. His weakness is that he played so much that he got hurt and that he is not a good pass cover guy. But if he's your third guy that you're playing on third downs and pass downs and being able to thump the run and playing against run-heavy teams like Baltimore and Cleveland, he's going to shine there. He's going to get hurt less. He's going to give you more value for his playing time, and he is now probably the best third inside linebacker in the league. And then your fourth guy becomes Cole Holcomb, who was your number 1 guy last year, who was the guy you relied on to be your number 1. Now he can afford to come back off injury and play when he's healthy, because he's another guy that is a tackling monster, that is fast as hell, athletic, and can cover. He is an NFL version of what Peyton Wilson was coming out of college, and what Peyton Wilson can be, the healthy version of Cole Holcomb. Now all of a sudden, you're taking your 2 starters from last year, your 1 Cole Holcomb and your 2 Landon Roberts, and you're making them your 3 and your 4, you know? And again, this is, of course, assuming that Peyton Wilson can project at the NFL level and stay healthy and all that. So maybe you're saying you're going to start the season with Queen and Roberts. I'm totally fine with starting the season with Queen and Roberts and seeing where Peyton Wilson comes along and waiting for Cole Holcomb to come back healthy. Because now all of a sudden you got these 2 veterans along with an all-pro in Queen and a rookie in Wilson. This room looks really good. And Mark Robinson can be your 5th guy. He can play on the occasional run stuffing down or special teams, get some tackles there, whatever. Just be on the last year of his rookie deal and whatever. He's fine. But you've now got 4 guys who, yes, there are question marks. Can Peyton Wilson be an NFL player the way he was in college? Can he stay healthy? Can Cole Holcomb come back and stay healthy? Can a Landon Roberts stay healthy? Yes, you have those questions. But with the potential of this room this year compared to what it was last year, looking at Queen, Roberts, Holcomb, and Wilson, I like this room a whole lot better. Big rookie steal, big free agent signing, both at very good value. I like this room a lot better. What do you guys think down below? Can Peyton Wilson be the star? Can Cole Holcomb come back? Can Queen be as good as he was in Baltimore? And can Roberts stay healthy? And do you like this combination? And if they all play up to potential, who do you like better as your second starter next to Queen coming into this year? Do you like Roberts being the proven run stuffer and the thumper? Or do you like Peyton Wilson being another athletic cover guy and being super athletic out there? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below. And please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more Steeler positional videos. I'm going to bring you guys a bunch coming up. We're going to do quarterback. We're going to do cornerback. We're going to do safety. I got a bunch coming up. So stay tuned and go Steelers.